Okay, I may be a delusional USC fan, but I think after this last week, they're probably just 3 to 4 players away from not only competing for the college football championship this season coming up, but it'll be tough to win this year. But ultimately, I think they'll be able to win the following year just because of all these guys returning back, because they will be able to get one more year under the belt, and then also with one of the younger guys, Miller Moss or Jackson Dark, as most likely Keaton Slovis is gone after this year, but those guys will be ready in the system for 1 year and will be ready to go by their sophomore year. Whichever one they pick, it doesn't matter, because I think this team won't be able to lose in 2022, but let's get into 2021 to see how they fared off. So Domani Jackson, one of the top rated cornerbacks, if not the #1 rated cornerback in all of high school football, just committed to USC this past couple of days ago. And he's at a modern day SoCal guy, and it was one of the bigger gets that USC has gotten since they got Korey Foreman for this year's class, but Domani Jackson is next year's. And it's just freaking crazy because, I mean, and there's also to say that they're with Will Johnson as well, another 5-star cornerback, that they're a package deal, but you never know, because then there'd probably be too many quarterbacks at USC, and then they'd have to give up some guys, or some guys will enter the transfer portal, but that would be even more amazing. But yes, Domani Jackson is one of those guys. He's a hybrid guy. He could pretty much do anything on the field. He could probably play safety, even some linebacker for you as well. Could be that nickel type of defensive player up close to the line of scrimmage. So I think either way, getting this guy was a big get. But then again, getting Korey Foreman was the biggest get, to be able to draw guys like this. But yes, being able to get this guy in the 2022 class is freaking awesome. But looking forward towards these other guys who are in the transfer portal that are all related to Southern California, and then also guys that are still uncommitted for this class in 2021. I'll be getting into those guys who USC could group in, and guys like 3 or 4 more guys, and I think they'd have a solid team to be able to compete for the rest of this time. So yes, these first 2 guys I'm going to mention. Henry Tioto, he's a linebacker from the University of Tennessee. He was one of the better California guys when he came out a couple years ago. Sadly, USC was in his top 8, but not his top 5. But he ended up going to Tennessee, out there with Jeremy Pruitt, who recently got fired, which I think is the reason why he wants to transfer out and maybe play closer to home. Does suck because he is from NorCal, so he could choose the other teams up there like Stanford, Cal, all those other guys. But I'm kind of hoping, if it's just hopefully California he wants to get back to, then he would choose USC, because USC is definitely needing some linebackers his position, and he's one of the better guys right now that would fit USC's scheme, and he could be a plug and play his first year, and he's already in his 3rd year technically coming up. So I think he'd be one of the bigger gets on defense that USC can get and should get this year, because he is a Southern California, not Southern, but he is a California guy. But USC should definitely target him a lot. And then another Southern California running back who went to go play elsewhere in Michigan, but now has decided to enter the transfer portal, is running back Zach Charbonnet. And you think why he's transferring, because Jim Harbaugh re-signed up for 5 more years, but they didn't really use him well in his 2nd year out there. Hardly had any rushing attempts, so I'm hoping he would choose a team like USC. He is looking at UCLA, other Southern California places. They'll give him the opportunity to most likely start. I believe he is better than most of the guys on USC's roster, so he should start right away. The only problem is dealing with Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator, if he really wants to run the ball as much to make, Zach happy. That's the case now, but I think if you even run it like 15, 20 times for him and throw it to him like a handful of times, he would prefer that system, especially at a USC with other talented guys around him, instead of going to like a UCLA and having to do so much work just to even get noticed by the NFL. But yes, definitely another SoCal guy who was just a beast while he was in high school, and definitely wanted him to come to USC at the time, but decided to go elsewhere. Like I said, bad situation for him, so hopefully he will be coming home to USC and make this little package deal that I've been trying to figure out with transfer portals and other guys available, not only in the 2021 class, but next year's class as well. So yes, that's all we're hoping for. But two last guys that are out of modern day that I wanted to get into, that they're kind of up in the air right now, but one of them is still coming into college this season, and the other guy is maybe thinking about transferring, but I'm only going to talk about him because it's a big time possibility that he will be transferring. But first guy I'm going to talk to is the 2021 linebacker Rayshawn Davis. He's one of the top linebackers out there in the nation, but he's also from modern day Southern California, and he was committed to LSU, but then recently opened up his commitment and decommitted from there, and USC has been the trending team. It just sucks that excuse me, I think the other day he went up to Ohio State and is really liking it so far. He even sent out a tweet that he might return, which of course is dangerous for me, but I don't know. Hopefully USC can get another unofficial visit, especially with guys like Korey Foreman there, be able to talk to him. Miller Moss has been a pretty good recruiting football player for them as well, the quarterback. So hopefully they get their last pitch at Rayshawn Davis and he can get in there. And yes, we really do have Henry Teoto in this situation, but having a guy like Davis come in, he probably won't start right away, but his talent enough with the linebackers that USC has and that they're losing, he should be able to get into a handful of plays in each entire game his first year. So I think he's that talented, and he should hopefully want to stay home, but that's just a lot of hope right now. And then the final player is Elias Ricks. He was one of the top rated cornerbacks in the nation, definitely top players. I think it was like top 10 or top 15, definitely in that recruiting class, but he was another one of those guys that decided to go to LSU, and right now it's been a lot of whispers, but even their own like papers out there are saying that he might be looking to transfer, and they're hoping that he doesn't look to transfer. But USC was one of those teams that were in the mix the entire time, and hopefully he would want to come back to Southern California. A lot of these guys are wanting to transfer back to where they grew up and everything like that, so that's why this video kind of only makes sense. And yes, this is a very fantasy type of dream thing, but hoping it will work, because he is one of the better guys. He got to start his freshman year out there at LSU, had a couple picks, a couple great plays, did very well in that Alabama LSU game, even though they were outmatched. But yeah, overall I think he could still be a plug and play type of player for USC, because they have some good cornerbacks, they have talented guys, but they don't have really the height that this guy sneakily has. Like, he's 6'2 plus and still can play corner at a high level, which is crazy. He probably should be playing safety, but he is a little bit more slight. But yes, that cornerback position is very good. He knows how to do it. So yes, those are the 5 guys. Let's go after them again. So yes, luckily USC, as of this second for the following season, has Domani Jackson, which is a huge get. Then they're looking at Henry Teoto, the linebacker, who was at Tennessee, was a 5-star guy as well when he was in high school. And then Zach Charbonnet, who was a 5-star running back coming out of high school out of Oaks Christian in SoCal. And then I'm hoping for guys like Rayshawn Davis, who is a 5-star linebacker from modern day, and Elias Ricks, who is not 100% sure yet, but like I said, to get these 5 guys on the same team, especially for USC, would be ultimate. And you could still get rid of Clay Helton, in my opinion, once his contract's up, but it might be able to keep him throughout the contract instead of firing him early and giving away all that extra money to be able to fire him sooner. But yes, this is definitely a big hope for, a big fantasy, a big wish for my USC Trojans the next year or 2, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, so far it's been working out so far. If you got Foreman and Domani Jackson coming next year, I think USC can do it, with Keaton Slovis or without him, in my opinion. But yes, thanks for watching, people. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, Don.